being told you're not able to play sports.
And it's really frustrating. I don't get to be a part of it.
Rules forcing student athletes excelling in the classroom off the field.
My dad had gotten a call from our athletic director saying that I was ineligible to play.
Officials with state associations are even weighing in.
We don't come to work with the idea, we're going to get somebody today. That's not what we do. We want them to play.
The state normally divided west and east each year by the NCHSAA, but now players on both sides are coming together for one fight, kicking the courses, the fight for eligibility.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Courtney Courtright. We first learned about this issue from an Onslow County soccer player who was told she would not be able to play her senior year because she didn't have enough credits.
Her issue was she was taking advanced placement courses, and it turns out she isn't alone.
Yeah, 9 on your side's Claire Curry is joining us now with a deeper look into this story. So Claire, this is just a wild turn of events for not one, but two student athletes in our area.
Yeah, it is really crazy that not only one student, but two were affected in the same county, all playing the same sport.
And Claire, you first learned about this story from a Facebook post from their parents, but what are these two student athletes saying?
Yeah, after they were finding out that they were unable to play their senior season, they were really devastated.
To me, soccer is just, I get to play with my best friends, and it's really frustrating. I don't get to be a part of it.
It does me no good to put down anybody who made a mistake in this process, but I would just like to make it so it doesn't happen again.
The North Carolina High School Athletics Association requires students to pass a minimum load of classes in order to participate in sports the following semester. Caitlin, an above-average student at Richlands High School, was recommended by the school to take advanced placement courses, but those credits don't count.
With AP classes running a full year instead of a semester, those credits are not awarded to the end of the year, and because of that, the state was saying that she was ineligible to play.
And Madison, an above-average student at Southwest Onslow High School, was recommended by the school to take classes through the community college. Those two do not count.
One of the classes she was taking that was recommended by her guidance counselor was not considered a high school credit, which reduced her course load to 2 courses, making her ineligible.
Onslow County Schools filed appeals to the NCHSAA on the behalf of each of the two student athletes.
Unfortunately, when it went to the state level for sports, it was denied. We did push it to the State Board of Ed. Unfortunately, that was denied as well.
The school system says this has not been the first time a student athlete has faced this situation. So lawmakers are now stepping in to help.
The rule was written in 1987. I don't even think they had AP courses at that time, and that rule hadn't changed since then.
Eligibility, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's been over 10 years before we've really looked at it again. So it's a good time for us to modernize it.
Now for Caitlin and Madison, they hope the rule is changed for the sake of others.
And that's the whole point as us as student athletes is school comes first and athletics second, and to punish someone for going above and beyond in their classes and what they choose shouldn't be happening.
How about this? It's really hard to believe that young athletes are being affected by the rules and their eligibility like this.
Yeah, Claire, it really is. Their eligibility messed up by doing what they thought was the right thing to do. Claire, thank you. Let's take a look now, a deeper look at this rule.
The rule impacting these students is laid out in the Scholastics Requirements section of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association's handbook. It is important to note the State Board of Education is the one that creates these rules. The NCHSAA just enforces them. The rule states a student must pass a minimum load of work in the prior semester to be eligible to play sports during the current semester. Now, those requirements are different from school to school.
In traditional school schedules, students must pass 5 courses. If the school is on a block schedule, students must pass 3 courses. And in an AB block schedule, they must pass 6. This means if your school is on a block schedule and you only pass 2 courses, you are not eligible to play sports the following semester. Still ahead here on Kicking the Courses, we talked to the NCHSAA directly about this fight for eligibility.
We want them to play because we believe in education-based athletics and the core values that we are trying to teach through them.
But before we hear what they have to say, this story exploded across our state after first airing right here on WNCT. We will take a look at the reactions this story is getting.
It's my duty, right, to go in and have the veteran come back home.
The duty of so many men and women we honor today.
I joined because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a change.
We celebrate their service and sacrifice.
We have troops who are deploying, and they're always in my heart.
We present to you Veterans' Voices, honoring those who serve.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Courtney Courtwright. Welcome to Veterans Voices. For the next 30 minutes, you'll see stories paying tribute to our veterans around the country. We begin here in the East, recognizing our Marine Corps veterans.
9 on your side's Claire Curry shares the stories of 3 female service members and how they've paved the way for others just like them.
Whatever I can do to serve my community, because our service doesn't stop when we take our uniform off. It continues.
I wanted to be a Marine since the 2nd grade, and I wasn't going to let nobody stop me.
I have no regrets about joining the Marine Corps. I'm very grateful.
Wendy Silvera, Raquel Painter, and Yolanda Mayo all began serving in the 1980s and 90s.
When I retired, there were only 23 female sergeants major in the whole Marine Corps. Only 23 of us.
The biggest growing population in the VFW is women veterans, so I'm one of many.
In 2016, all 3 retired, but their service didn't stop there. They all continue to support other service members with their work.
The VFW is heavily involved in legislation to help us get our rights taken care of, whether it's Agent Orange, burn pits, Camp Lejeune water.
And for Painter, she wanted to make sure everyone was celebrated for their service.
One of the projects that I took up since retirement was establishing the Onslow Veterans Powwow. Native Americans sacrificed their culture while serving their country, so I wanted to bring the culture here to Camp Lejeune.
And continuing to work on base.
My job gives me a unique opportunity to still serve Marines and their families. There is no other job right now that I would rather be doing.
All 3 have received Outstanding Combat Female Veteran of North Carolina awards for their dedication to honor our country in and out of service.
I was able to make a difference in how people see female Marines and what a difference that females can make.
For Veteran Voices, I'm Claire Curry.
From 1942 to 1949, nearly 20,000 African Americans served in the Marine Corps, the majority of them coming through Jacksonville. Our Cheyenne Pagan takes us to a celebration honoring those veterans.
Trailblazers. That's what you could call them.
When I came in the Marine Corps, as you know, the Marine Corps was completely segregated.
Retired Gunnery Sergeant F.M. Hooper Jr. joined during World War II. It's been over 70 years, and he still remembers the day he stepped off the bus at Mumford Point.
When I raised my right hand and said, "I do," I thought I was being shipped to Paris Island. I didn't realize it.
A lot has changed since then. It's now named Camp Johnson, and the mess hall is now a museum. During the ceremony, tribute was paid to Hooper along with his fellow brothers, both living and passed on. And families also received Congressional Gold Medals for the services by their loved ones.
It's just been unreal, you know, and I get so upset because he's not here. You know, my sister would say he's looking down, but I'd rather have him sitting next to me.
The celebration had the Marine Corps Silent Drill Team and distinguished speakers like the Secretary of the Navy.
It's just a great honor to be here today on this solemn day and to pay them tribute for the sacrifices that they made throughout the years and the example that they set for thousands upon thousands of others who followed in their footsteps.
When all is said and done, Hooper wants to give this advice to new and future Marines.
The Marine Corps is a togetherness organization. Everybody's a Marine. No black Marines, no white Marines, no yellow Marines. We're all Marines. Hoorah.
Still ahead on Veterans Voices, how one veteran is battling ALS, but it's not stopping him from continuing to help others.
I'm hoping that everything works as well as it has for other participants here.
I'm taking some steps with any luck.
Plus, we're showing you new technology that's helping veterans walk into their future.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Birmingham, Alabama. We're live at Protective Stadium. Brian Bailey, Ken Watlington. This is the Birmingham Bowl pregame show as we get you set for East Carolina, Coastal Carolina, and coming up in about 79 minutes.
79 minutes, ready to go. I tell you what, bowl games are great. You find out about them about a month ahead of time, and then you have to have the build up and get set to go, and then you arrive at the bowl site, and it's just a lot of fun.
Let's set the stage for you, what we're going to bring you over the next half hour. Of course, we're going to hear from both teams about what's going to happen on this field later tonight. But the Pirates also spent Christmas here in Birmingham, and we were along for the ride. We'll show you some of the things they did outside of practice to kind of keep their spirits high this year during the holidays when they had to be away from their families.
Yeah, it's very difficult when you're away from your family for Christmas, but the Pirate players, Mike Houston has always said, we're a family, and when you spend Christmas together, that's what you get.
We'll also look back at the last time the Pirates played in a bowl game, which was here in Birmingham. But first, let's hear from both teams.
Let's hear from both teams. East Carolina comes into this matchup at 7-5. Coastal Carolina is 9-3. The Pirates made a bowl last year but didn't get to play because of COVID problems with Boston College, and they're not taking today for granted at all.
You know, it's a great time of the year, and we're honored to be representing East Carolina University.
Ready to lock in for the game and get ready. It's my last game, so definitely got to go out with a bang.
It's something that, we came in with a goal in mind is to get us back to a bowl game, but also to win the bowl game. So we're here and might as well win it now.
Standing in the way of a Pirate Bowl win is 9-3 Coastal Carolina, the runner-up in the Sun Belt. Chanticleers boast a high-powered offense, but it's Coastal's defense that's on the mind of their interim head coach and how they'll stop the Pirate offense.
Yeah, a lot of weapons. I probably don't have enough time to list all of them. Running backs, extremely good. Quarterbacks, man, he seems like he's been there 20 years. He knows he can do it all. He makes the throws. What I see in him, he gets them in there all the right plays. He makes a lot of good checks. The receivers are huge. O-line's big. It's going to be a challenge for us defensively.
And we'll talk more about Coastal Carolina and their quarterback coming up in just a second. But this is a really should be competitive matchup.
Yeah, both teams have great offenses. It may come down to the team that plays defense that wins this football game because both defenses have struggled.
Both defenses have struggled. You mentioned Coastal Carolina gave up 47 points just 2 games ago. If they do that to ECU, they might lose.
Yeah, exactly right, because East Carolina can get it cranking on offense. I just talked to Coach Houston a few minutes ago, and he said, I don't know how well we'll play because it's been 31 days, but we're going to go after it because our guys are ready.
The Pirates have been practicing in Alabama, but because of the cold weather over the Christmas weekend, they moved the practice indoor on Saturday and Christmas Sunday to Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama's indoor facility. A great way to stay warm while working to get better, but also a chance to experience the home of the 18-time national champion Crimson Tide.
Very fortunate to have the relationships with the staff at the University of Alabama for them to allow us to use their indoor practice facility this weekend, and just really grateful for them and the hospitality shown towards us. And I think our guys will get a kick out of that, and it'll be a great experience for the kids.
It was good, just going into an inside facility, just looking at things that we may have in the future. You never know. It's just different facility and different things than East Carolina, But SEC is different, so it was pretty, pretty good. It felt good practicing in the indoor facility.
Back here at Protective Stadium, just up in the press box, Jeff Charles, the voice of the Pirates, will call his 15th bowl game for ECU tonight.
And he's called some good ones, including the magical Peach Bowl after the 1991 football season. Charles says he believes this game, tonight's bowl game, could be something special as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think everybody's excited about it. You've got 2 regional teams that have never played before, and they're separated by just 3.5 hours. And it's a great quarterback matchup, the marquee matchup with Holt Nailers and Grayson McCall. So I think there are a lot of storylines going into this game. It should be a very competitive game.
and we cannot wait. We're now less than 75 minutes away from kickoff of the Birmingham Bowl, but still ahead on our pregame show. We'll recap the Pirates' road to Birmingham. A look back at the first half of the season is next.
And plus, our Garrett Short will take a look at defensive standout Miles Berry, how the senior linebacker is ready for his last game here in Birmingham at the bowl game.